I have been building mazes since 1973. Snail shell maze in Boxford evolved intuitively from my sensing of the site. I designed it in 1979 as a triple spiral maze, and in checking the history of the site, I discovered that the archaic Indian tribes of this area had actually constructed snail shell houses. Snail shell maze is on the grounds of the original Little Red Schoolhouse in Boxford, Massachusetts. It is a running maze for children with lilac, forsythia, and spirea as smell and color signals in the center of a 50-foot diameter hedge maze. It was relocated across the road from its original site, leaving a wonderful echo of the original spiral as its twin. Stormflower is in my hometown of New Orleans. It serves as a hurricane fetish for the University of New Orleans. Since Stormflower occupied the lawn of the University Center, no hurricanes have struck this area. Stormflower is an all-azalea hedge maze, 196 feet in diameter, funded by the National Endowment for the Arts and installed by faculty and students in 1980. The azalea plants vary in their color and in their final size, creating diagonal stripes of color from ground-level views, as well as a multicolored storm pattern that can be seen from the air. Vaulted Arbor was funded by the Department of Cultural Affairs of New York City, with sponsorship of the Brooklyn Botanic Garden for installation in Glenwood houses in Brooklyn, New York in 1984. Vaulted Arbor's 22-foot high and 44-foot diameter octagonal vaulted form of galvanized steel pipe serves as a sundial and supports wisteria vines, which thrive in its sunny location. The Tenants Council selected Vaulted Arbor from several related concepts and have been its champions ever since. They call it their Statue of Liberty.
And this structure commemorates the presence of the Native Americans here. It is in the form of an Indian wigwam. If the Indians were to build this, it would be done with sapling wood. It wouldn't be galvanized steel as it is now. And it would be probably a little smaller. I listen to the space. The space itself, the environment speaks to me. There were maize fields throughout this area, and over on Gallatin Place and Elm Place was the home of the sachem of the Muricowick tribe.
After its 18-month stay in Cadman Plaza, Spirit House was permanently installed in Laumar Sculpture Park in St. Louis in 1986. The hemispherical form of Spirit House echoes the shape of the Earth. Its steel arcs trace orbits around the Earth. The first version of the orbiter to be actualized was a parade vehicle. The orbiter cruised down Madison Avenue in the first New York Art Parade in 1983, accompanied by her 4 lively clouds and New Age music. The orbiter parade vehicle is a small-scale version of a much larger concept of the orbiter figure, which will be a mock-up of an actual space vehicle. You will enter the 32-foot-long big orbiter to view video monitors which describe her mythological history, her orbit of the Earth, and her concerns for the Earth. The Niagara-Nosos-Carranza connector for Art Park in upstate New York takes the viewer on an imaginary journey northeast around the Earth over Knossos in Crete and back over Carranza in Mexico to Art Park. The construction of the connector went on in Art Park in 1982. Work was done simultaneously on orbital watercolors for a film loop to be installed in the arrowhead. The coloration of the vegetation, water, and earth in the orbital path over Knossos was researched as a source for this series of watercolors, depicting the connector's imaginary orbit around the Earth. The Niagara-Nosos-Carranza connector exposed the Art Park audience to the pacifistic woman culture of ancient Crete. The sculpture looks like a space shuttle. The film narration begins. Welcome aboard. I will be your pilot on a non-stop voyage around planet Earth. The trajectory of orbital connector in Manhattan is northwest over Beijing and back around the Earth over the Caribbean, marking the origins of the 2 major population groups of Smith houses in Chinatown. Like all of my work, Orbital Connector is a collaboration. I served as the middle person between the fabricator, the welder, and my engineer, Paul Guglietta. Several benefits were given to raise funds for Orbital Connector. Among the speakers were David Dinkins and David Rockefeller, Jr.
The theme of Orbital Connector is so fantastically relevant to our times. You've all seen that wonderful bumper sticker, think globally, act locally. Well, I mean, that's what that's about. The Governor Smith houses in Chinatown are the location of Orbital Connector, and it is, like many other places in New York, a multi-ethnic community with Chinese, Hispanic, black and white, all living there, more than 5,000 of them. And to symbolize the connection of the ethnic groups, her arrow points northwest, but it therefore soars probably over the North Pole, through Beijing, comes whipping back across the other side of the planet from our perspective, and steams over the Caribbean and ends up again in New York.
Local and global environments are reflected in Tower as Inland Lighthouse. Its minaret is evocative of those at the University of Tampa, and its faces reflect the world through time and weather. The fabricators for this project were in Kentucky. The rapport which I develop with my fabricators is essential to the success of each piece.
When you hold that up, hold it on this corner on the left.
Right here?
No, the other one, yeah.
Our relationship was an excellent collaboration throughout the entire process of design, engineering, fabrication, installation, and follow-through. Tower as Inland Lighthouse is located 1 block from City Hall in downtown Tampa. Funding for the tower was local, federal, corporate, and individual. The name Tower as Inland Lighthouse reflects the tower's quality as a lighthouse or indicator of the inland weather. The tower has 2 clocks, 2 barometers, and 2 thermometers, which connect the air-conditioned office workers of Tampa with the outside environment. The red light indicates rain, compass directions are shown with steel markers, and the moon vane shows wind direction, providing Tampa with a visual readout of its turbulent weather world. The playful presence of the tower has become a Tampa landmark.